So let's rank my top favorite flicks from 2021. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name's Doyle, better known to you as the Big D. This time, I'm going to bring to you a ranking of my top favorite flicks from 2021. Now, I didn't rank all of them. Now, I watched a few of them, and a few of them actually made it. A few I will give a few honorable mentions to. Those include Wish Dragon, Finding Oana, and Yes Day, Netflix films. But you'll see a few others from Netflix on here as well. Red Noise is another honorable mention, and House of Gucci. But there's probably several others, so if I miss any, I do apologize. Let's just get into this ranking. You will be hearing my quick thoughts on them, but I'm going to go rapid fire here, so you will not be seeing my face or anything until the end of the video. Please understand that. So now if you're ready, sit back, relax, and here we go. Number 30 is Flora and Ulysses. This film premiered on Disney Plus, and while I've never read the book, but I must admit this was kind of a cute flick. And how a squirrel gets a little bit of superpowers, yeah. This film was just so silly, but I kind of consider it to be cute. The little girl who played Flora is absolutely adorable as well. This film is just so much fun. I may revisit it one day. Number 29 is Fear Street 1666. This Netflix film, the final installment of a three-part little movie trilogy based on R.L. Stein's teen horror book series. It's pretty good, and it takes only half of this takes place in 66, but then soon goes back to 94, which we'll see where that flick winds up. This film isn't too bad. I like the 1666 set, and it's pretty scary and what have you. All three films will be shown on this ranking. So anyway, this film's pretty good, though it's my least favorite of the trilogy, but still I like it for what it provided in the beginning. Number 28 is Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, this film was what managed to pull most of us back into the theaters after the pandemic struck the previous year. And this film did pretty well and became the first film to come pretty close to making $100 million at the box office. Now, this was a little better than the previous Godzilla film. Not quite as good as Kong Skull Island, though, but it manages to have some good moments, but there was some moments I didn't find too, well, thrilling and what have you, but still, a good entry into the MonsterVerse nonetheless. Number 27 is To All the Boys, Always and Forever. The final installment of Netflix's To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy. Now, I do think this is pretty good. It's a little bit better than the last one, P.S. I Still Love You. I like the performances we got from the cast, especially our lead actress who plays Laura Jean. I must say, it's a pretty good film, and, well, it had a pretty good song in its trailer, kind of, well, a different person singing that classic mid-90s song, I Love You Always Forever, which was done by Donna Lewis, and was one of my favorite songs. Anyway, this film was pretty good, a good way to close out this trilogy. Number 26 is A Cinderella Story, Starstruck. Now, I was impressed with this film. This kind of was pretty good. I liked Bailey Madison's performance, and everyone else wasn't too bad either. It was a big surprise to see that the stepsister was played by one of the stepsisters from the last Cinderella Story, which was Christmas Wish. But this film had a good country twist in it, and what have you, and I liked that. It wasn't too bad, but I still gave it a good 5-star review and what have you. And, well, I still like it, even though I've only seen it once. Number 25 is Luca. Now, though we were originally supposed to get this film last summer, but they apparently decided to send it to Disney Plus at the last minute. This recent Disney Pixar flick is pretty cool. I have to say, it was fun. It has a few fun moments. And, well, especially when our main character well, is actually a sea creature who turns human on land. This was pretty cool. I really did enjoy this. But we hope for the best that Disney and Pixar will be making a comeback soon with Seeing Red later on this year. But Luca's pretty fun. Number 24 is Vevo. This is another film we were originally supposed to get in theaters. This recent hit from Sony Pictures Animation. This would be the third to come to Netflix. Of course, the others being Wish Dragon and The Mitchells vs. the Machines, which we'll see where that winds up. This film isn't too bad. It's got a good setting and what have you. The music's not too bad, with a great set of songs done by Lin-Manuel Miranda. I will say Vevo is a lot of fun. If you haven't seen this, I'd say give it a shot. Number 23 is Nobody. This film was so awesome. About a family man who really tries to get on the act and become a brutal dude and what have you. This kind of makes me feel like I'm seeing John Wick, except in a different way. Bob Odenkirk is absolutely incredible in this movie. Seeing him in several others, including Christopher Lloyd, yeah, this film is absolutely funny. If you haven't seen this movie, I'd highly recommend you check it out. It's awesome. Number 22 is Raya and the Last Dragon. This recent Disney flick was another film that, well, managed to pull in a few moviegoers, but it didn't do too well, even though despite being released in both theaters and simultaneously on Disney Plus. I'm just lucky this came to theaters, and I'm glad I got to see it. This film was so amazing. It was really colorful and what have you. I like the characters and what have you. I definitely need to give this a rewatch and what have you. Not really one of Disney's best animated features, but still, it manages to pull off some good stuff, though. Number 21 is F9, the previous installment of the Fast and the Furious franchise. This film is so awesome, and it may have had some misses and what have you, but still, it was a blast and what have you. I mean, and with the addition of John Cena to the cast, yeah. Anyway, this was a mix of all sorts of fun things, but I love the performances we got from Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez. Yeah, they were pretty good and what have you. I hope for the best we'll get the 10th one sooner or later, but I think we may have to wait another year, though, for it. Still, F9, it's awesome. Number 20 is Dune, aka Dune Part 1. While despite this film was being released in theaters and on HBO Max, but this was the film that really managed to, well, give Warner Bros. A boost in the money from after losing so much from their previous attempts, failing to make so much and disappearing from the top 10 without a moment's notice after only a measly 2 weeks. I'm glad this saved the Warner's skins and what have you. This is pretty awesome. I can't wait to see Dune Part 2 when it comes around later on. The performances were pretty good and what have you. I'm just glad this is pretty awesome. And I think the next part will be just as good as this. Number 19 is Fear Street, 1994. This was a real good horror flick. The first installment of the 3-part movie series based on R.L. Stein's teen horror book series is very good. The kills are good. I like the cast. The setting of 1994 was good. Oh, I just had a blast with this. I'm glad I got to see it. Thank goodness Netflix brought in a pretty darn good scary film. And I thought it was awesome because of its 1994 setting. Coming in at number 18 is Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, despite being delayed so many times, we finally got this recently, and this film did pretty well. And even though it failed to match up to that recent reboot of all females, but I'm sure a lot of y'all will probably want to forget about, and I understand. But this is a real good continuation to the original series. It's perfect. And while the fan base might be a little mixed and what have you, but I don't care. This was pretty awesome. And getting to see the original Ghostbusters, even though Harold Ramis was dead and what have you, but still, It's awesome. Number 17 is Halloween Kills. Now, after seeing Halloween 2018 a few times, I was pretty excited to see this one. I got to see it on Peacock with Premium, which I only had for a month, but I watched this, and boy, I gotta tell you, it was a big step up, and what have you. I hope for the best I'll get to see Halloween Ends when it comes out this year. Well, we'll just see what happens, but this was really good. We got some good performances from everybody. Even Jamie Lee Curtis, even though we didn't get to see much of her, but it was nice to bring most other actors from the original film back, though. And boy, let me tell you, the kills were awesome. Now, I just found out they're planning to release a special extended cut on Blu-ray and DVD. It is on streaming as well, so let's hope for the best that the extended cut is even better. Number 16 is In the Heights. Now, I really wanted to see this one, and I did. The music for this was so cool and catchy. I loved every bit of it. I mean, it may have been a long flick, but at least I got to see something really awesome. I mean, the score from Lin-Manuel Miranda was awesome. Well, maybe not the score, but the songs that he did. I know somebody else did the score, so I humbly apologize for bringing that up, but I think it's a pretty cool movie. If you haven't seen this, you might want to look into this. Number 15 is Kanto, another film that Lin-Manuel Miranda took part of in doing music for. This film is very colorful, although it seems to me it's gonna fail to make $100 million at the box office. Nevertheless, this film was pretty magical. It was fun. I did get to enjoy this for what it was too. And of course, the film is already now on Disney Plus, so if you haven't gone to your theater to see it, just watch it on there. You'll enjoy it. Well, at least I hope you will. Number 14 is The Mitchells vs. the Machines. Now, this film was originally supposed to come to us, well, a little over a year before, during which spheres were recovering from the pandemic's occurrence, but this failed to, as this was originally supposed to be released as Connected, but Netflix got the rights to it and they changed the title. This film was still an overall blast. While Sony Pictures may not have made much good animated features, but this was one of their best, and I think this is another good one. Aside from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, this film was just so awesome. I definitely need to revisit this one day. Number 13 is Cruella. Now, this recent Disney film, of course, is the origin story of the great villainess of 101 Dalmatians fame. Emma Stone does an absolutely good job as our title character, and I gotta say, it was really good. I've seen this twice. I went and saw this in the theater, and I saw it when it got released for all Disney Plus subscribers, even though it got released simultaneously in theaters and on Disney Plus when it came out. Overall, I think Cruella is pretty awesome. I've been hearing they may do a sequel. Just depends if Emma's going to return for this role, in which case she might. We'll see what happens one day if they do confirm this. Number 12 is A Quiet Place Part 2. Now, this is another film we were originally supposed to get, well, back in 2020, but because of the pandemic, it got postponed. And I actually did get to go see this, and let me tell you, I liked it just as much as its predecessor. I mean, I love the performances we got. We get those really cool aliens and what have you. They're really creepy and what have you. And the deaf girl in this film, she really stole the show. I hope for the best we'll get to see a third one. I know they're planning to do a prequel, though, so we'll see what happens. This film is awesome. If you've not seen this, you gotta check it out. Number 11 is Venom, Let There Be Carnage. This film was a monster opener. That is until Spider-Man No Way Home did better, which we'll see where that winds up. But this film was so... I don't know what to say. It was awesome. A little better than the first one. I mean, the performances we got from Tom Hardy, Woody Harrelson, yeah, they were pretty good. We'll hope we'll get to see some more of them sometime down the road. But in the meantime, this film was pretty darn brutal. in some ways, despite it's still got a PG-13 rating. It's a little more shorter than the last one, but overall, it's still pretty good. Number 10 is Black Widow. Despite being delayed from the previous 2020 year because of the pandemic, this film finally got released, though it was released simultaneously on Disney Plus and in theaters. This film still did factually well. I will say this was so awesome. I need to revisit this film since it's on Disney Plus. This film was good. It serves as a prequel to, well, some of the other events and before what happened to her in the end. Well, later on in Avengers Endgame, which you probably all know that. Scarlett Johansson, once again, is really good in this. We got good performances from Florence Pugh, David Harbour. Yeah, they were all pretty good. Black Widow's pretty awesome. Number 9 is Sing 2. This brand new film from Illumination Entertainment. It's pretty good. I love this just as much as the first film. It brought back a lot of the cast from the first film, including Matthew McConaughey, Scarlett Johansson, Reese Witherspoon, Taron Egerton, and Tori Kelly. Yeah. They all did real good. And with Bono being added to this, that was even more good. I really did love this. If you haven't seen my review of this, you gotta check it out. But still, it's pretty darn awesome. Number 8 is Fear Street, 1978, the second installment of the Fear Street trilogy that came out on Netflix. This is my favorite of the trilogy. I like the setting at the camp, and the 1978 setting too. I think it was pretty killer, especially where they learned where the strange events were occurring and what have you. You know the story and what have you. But this film is pretty cool, and it's my favorite of the trilogy. I loved it. This has actually become my favorite scary film of 2021. Number 7 is No Time to Die, the latest James Bond film. While this was also delayed from being released even after the pandemic had struck, we're just glad we finally got it. Daniel Craig definitely does a great job in his final performance as James Bond, and, well, what can I say? This film was awesome. It may be the longest of the franchise. I know it could have used just a little trim, but still I enjoyed it for what it was. It was good as is. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to take my word for it. But No Time to Die is definitely a pretty good movie. This, of course, came in second after Skyfall on my Daniel Craig ranking if you haven't seen it yet. Number 6 is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, this film originally premiered on HBO Max, and I don't have it, so I never got to see it. But I'm glad they got to release it on physical media. I recently got on DVD a couple of months ago, and I gotta say, this film was much more awesome than the original cut. I loved every bit of it. It was awesome. Darkseid was definitely good. I'm just glad we got it the way it was. It was so action-packed. Number 5 is Free Guy. This is another film that got delayed several times, but, well, after it came out, it was a big success. Ryan Reynolds is absolutely funny in this. This is probably one of the best performances he had given since Deadpool. And I gotta say, the setting of this being in a video game world, well, an open world video game anyway, it's awesome. I do hope for the best we will get a sequel. You never can tell. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I will revisit this film when it comes to Disney Plus next month. Yes, you heard me correctly. It's going to be coming to Disney Plus this February. So if you haven't seen this yet, or you don't have it on physical media, you got to check it out when it comes to Disney Plus. Free Guy, it's awesome. Number 4 is The Suicide Squad. This was awesome. Despite it should have done better, even though despite being released in theaters and simultaneously on HBO Max, but still it got decent reviews, better than its predecessor. And well, we did get good performances from not just Margot Robbie, who returned as Harley Quinn. We got John Cena, Idris Elba, plus a lot of others, and old Sly himself, Sylvester Stallone, did the voice of King Shark. that was pretty darn awesome. This film's pretty cool, and I like it more than the first one, but you don't have to take my word for it. I definitely should have gotten this on physical media. Maybe I will, and revisit it. The Suicide Squad, it's just so awesome. And pretty brutal, too. Especially since it got an R rating. Number 3 is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This, of course, was the most recent attempt from the MCU. And this film was awesome. I need to revisit this film on Disney+. I will say this was really good. This was a really big surprise hit for Disney and Marvel. And we got some really good performances. I must say it was just a surprise. And it just had so much good action sequences and all that jazz. Anything you can get from a Marvel film was really good. Number 2 is West Side Story. This also came in second on my December 2021 first time watches. Now, after seeing the original from '61, I wanted to see this one. This was so awesome. It was great. The music was great. The cast was great. I liked the performances from Ansel Elgort and YouTube sensation Rachel Zegler. The cast was really good, like I said. And the story was good. I just enjoyed it. Steven Spielberg did one heck of a job with his remake of this. This was just so cool. Number 1 is Spiderman No Way Home. This also was my top first time watch of December, being out West Side Story. This was awesome. This has already made $1 billion worldwide after 3 weeks. Actually, it did last week after 2 weeks, but now in its 3rd week, it's still doing well. This is a film that really saved the box office big time. This did better than any other film this year, making over 250 or somewhere in between that, or 260 big million, making it the 3rd biggest opening overall and the 3rd biggest MCU opening behind Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. The film is just so awesome. Tom Holland is once again good as Spidey. We get Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back as well, and most of the villains from previous Spidey flicks. Oh wow, this was just so awesome. Benedict Cumberbatch is back in this. Well, as Doctor Strange. Well, in the MCU anyway. And we got Zendaya and Jacob Batalon back as Michelle, MJ, and of course, Ned. Anyway, this film's so awesome. I look forward to the next film, which will be a part of a different story arc. But hey, I'm cool with that. Don't you think? Well, that was more quicker than I had anticipated. Excellent. So there you have it. There's my top 30 favorite flicks of 30 top flicks of 2021. What's your top flick of 2021? Are any of these your top favorites? Or you can give me your top 5, or give me just your number 1 favorite film of last year. You can tell me in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, be a part of the Big D Nation. And stay tuned, I may be doing another ranking, and it will be on the films I'm going to hopefully see this year. So, anyway, and I'm also happy to report I'm now up to 390 subscribers, so I'm only 10 subscribers away from 400. Good. So, keep it up, everyone. And thanks for watching. And if you like this, check out my previous rankings and what have you. In the upper left-hand corner is the December 2021 first time watches. The upper right hand corner is the December rewatches, which those are non-holiday films. Or if you'd like, go to the bottom left hand corner and see my spoiler free review of Spider-Man No Way Home, which could definitely use more than just a mere 11 views. Come on, people. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.